In this part of the video, we'll discuss the concepts of the optimizations. Um, there are several essential features of optimization problems. The formulation of an optimization problem must use mathematical expressions because the solution of optimization problem involve various features of mathematics. Three essential categories for every optimization problem: at least one objective function. This can be a profit function or the cost function. And then you may have an equality constraints. This one is an equations. And then inequality constraint, inequalities. These two terms in here are constituting the model of the process or the equipment, whereas the first category constituting the so-called economic model. By a feasible solution, we mean a set of variables that satisfies categories 2 and 3. Okay, the next figure, for example, illustrates the feasible region or the region of a feasible solution defined by categories 2 and 3. Okay, in this case, the feasible region consists of a line bounded by two inequality constraints. An optimal solution is a set of values of variables that satisfy the component of categories 2 and 3. Okay, and the solution also provides an optimal value for the function in category 1. In most cases, the optimal solution is a unique one. In some, it may not be the case. So for example, the area in here that is defined, this part in here is defining the linear inequality. So it has to, the area is the one that is going in. Okay, this part in here is the inequality constraints. This one is nonlinear inequality constraint. These two, I mean. Okay, so this area within these constraints are the one that is feasible. Since we have an additional of the linear equality constraint in here, okay, only this part of the line in between this point and this point will form the feasible region for the solution. Okay, no residual degrees of freedom among the variables in categories 2 and 3, meaning optimization is not needed to obtain a solution for a problem. If we define ME and MI as the number of independent consistent equality constraint and the number of independent inequality constraint, and if the number of variables whose values are unknown is equal to ME plus MI, then at least one solution exists for the relations in components 2 and 3, regardless of the optimization criterion. Multiple solutions may exist when models in categories 2 and 3 are composed of nonlinear relations. If a unique solution exists, no optimization is needed to obtain solution, since that solution is by definition the optimal one. And the next slide in here is, even though it sounds like a bit boring, but then it's very important, the concepts in here. If more process variables whose values are unknown exist in category 2, then there are independent equations, then the process model is called undetermined. Okay, then the model has an infinite number of feasible solutions, so that the objective function in category 1 will be the additional criterion that can be used to reduce the number of solutions to just one or few by specifying what is the best solution. If the equations in category 2 contain more independent equations than variables whose values are unknown, the process model is overdetermined. Okay, to resolve the difficulty, we should relax some of or all of the constraints. Okay, a typical example of an overdetermined model might be the reconciliation of process measurements for a material balance, which we will discuss in the next part of the video. Okay, one approach to yield the desired material balance would be to resolve the set of inconsistent equations by a procedure called the least squares. All those concepts that we have discussed can be translated into a mathematical form, which consists of this A, B, and C. A is the objective function, H is the equality constraint, G is the inequality constraint. X in here is the vectors of n variables. H in here is a vector of equations of dimensions m1, and Gx in here is a vector of inequalities of dimension m2. The total number of constraints will be m1 plus m2. Then we have to look into the different nature of the optimization problems. Okay, the first one will be the topological optimization versus parametric optimization. So in topological optimization, it generally considers the arrangement of the process equipment during the plan design. Okay, topological changes will have a great impact on the overall profitability of the plan, because in example, addition of one heat exchanger can change the scenario of the whole heat integration of the process plan. Topological arrangement like elimination of unwanted byproduct, elimination or rearrangement of equipment, alternative separation method, and alternative reactor configuration may be employed for the improvement of heat integration. Okay, the opposite nature from topological optimization will be parametric optimization, where we want to optimize the operating conditions like temperature, pressure, concentration, flow rate. This will be easier to be performed when the topology of the flow sheet has been fixed. And then we also have another example is the unconstrained optimization versus constrained optimization. An example will be to find the minimum of this function, okay, without any additional constraint. Constraint optimization, on the other hand, if we have to consider the minimum for this subject to this x has to be higher or same to 2. Okay, for the constraint problem, the solution will be this, -4. For the constraint problem, the solutions will be -3. Okay, you can carry out the calculations to check whether this one is correct or not. We have another one will be linear programming versus nonlinear programming. For linear programming, all the equations, the objective function, and the constraint functions are linear. For example, is this particular function. Nonlinear programming, any of the equation is nonlinear. Okay, any meaning just one, doesn't have to be all. Okay, for example, you minimize the functions of this subject to this. This problem is a nonlinear program. Will use a nonlinear programming as the objective function is nonlinear. And then in here we have a convex versus concave. If you draw a straight line in between 2 points in here and this point in here, if all the points of the straight line lie above the curve fx in here, then it's called a convex function. When all points on the straight line lie below the curve this, then it's called a concave function. Okay, the advantages of this convex or concave is that it has a single optimum point in here. Okay, in here as well. Therefore, this optimum point is always a global optimum. Then we have a continuous optimization, discrete optimization, and mixed integer optimization. In continuous optimizations, all the variables are real numbers, and the objective and the constraint functions are continuous. For discrete optimization, you have some discrete numbers. Discrete numbers, as we showed already in the previous case of the insulation, where we can only buy insulations in an incremental of 0.5 inch. In here is also applying if we define a number of worker, number of batches per month, number of plate for insulation column. Okay, those are integers number. Okay, they are not real numbers. Likewise, the example in here will, if we want to find the optimum pipe diameter, because the available standard pipe only come with specific outside diameter. Okay, a particular heat exchanger can be used for either cooling or heating purpose. When we need to cool the process stream, we have to use cooling water. If we need to heat the process stream, then we have to use the hot water stream. Okay, so for this two different one, for this hot water or for the cooling water, we can apply 0 for hot and 1 for cold. Okay. Mixed integer optimization, basically just a mixture between that continuous optimizations and the discrete optimization, where both integer and real variables may appear in the objective function. An example that will represent this one will be the optimization of a distillation column that involve temperature and the number of tray or plates. Okay. We also have another one is the single objective versus multi-objective optimization. In single objective, we only have a one objective function. In multi-objective optimizations, we will have more than one objective function. Okay, so for example, in here is the optimization of yield and selectivity for a reactor. And then we can also differentiate optimization problem using a local search method and the global search method. A local search method, if the objective function possesses multiple stationary point, search algorithm may have a tendency to find a stationary point nearer to the initial starting point. This will result in the solution having only the local optimum point, not the global optimum point. For example, in this particular scenario, as is described in this figure 1.3, if the search point starts from the point A, it will locate point 1 as a minimum. If it starts from point B, it will locate point 2 as the minimum in here. So for this particular part of the curve in here, we know that point number 1 is definitely not a global minimum, whereas point 2 in here is a global minimum. Okay, global search method will use a particular algorithm to find the global optimum points. Okay, and the global optimization in here can be classified into deterministic and stochastic method. Okay, and then therefore we can define this optimization as a deterministic, stochastic, and combinatorial. Deterministic optimization defined by a simple algorithm that starts with some initial guess and then update iteratively to attain a solution. Okay, it has a strength and the weakness associated with this. Stochastic rely on the randomness and trials to better sample in the parameter space to search for an optimum solution. Some of the commonly used one are Monte Carlo, simulated annealing, and generic algorithm. Okay. Combinatorial optimizations, on the other hand, consist of a finite set of objects from which we need to find an optimal object. I would suggest you to go into the details by yourself because I will not cover this in detail. Okay, so this following figure in here give an overview or the summary of the optimization. So optimization in general can be split into a continuous or a discrete problem. A discrete can be split into three further category. Okay, and the continuous one can be split into differentiable and non-differentiable and can be split into these three, while non-differentiable can be split into these two. All the abbreviations related with those has been given in the captions in here. So I would suggest you to read the details yourself. Okay, I will stop in here in this part of the video. Thank you for listening.